Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to be doing a liquids review on Moguls dip powder liquids. I got them in their starter kit and I thought it was a really great value. So we're going to see how they function with Revel Nails Cuticle dip powder. If you're new here, I'm doing a liquids series on all these different brands dip powder liquids with one specific color, just kind of to keep constant. But if you are interested in seeing the rest of the videos, make sure to watch the playlist on the dip powder liquid series. I'll also link them below. So without further ado, let's get started. Full transparency, I already did my right hand, and I was severely annoyed by these little fibers in the brush. So I'm going to go ahead and try to tweeze those out or clip them out because it really bothered me on my right hand. And one more thing before we start. So you see how my base bond is sitting in a bottle holder? My base bond was really I won't say overfilled, but definitely filled to the top because when I put it in that bottle holder, it spilled out. So just be careful with that. Yours might spill out if it's really just topped off. Alright, so the brush is normal, clipped, and we're ready to get started. Here's the activator and top coat that came in the starter kit. Here is Revel Nails Dip Powder Cuticle, which I'm going to be using for this test, and we're going to get started with the base coat. As usual, this process is pretty uneventful. You just apply the base bond to your nail and then dip and repeat for all 5 or 10 nails. So I'm sorry for the repetitiveness. Okay, now that that first layer is done, I want to show you guys something that was bothering me about the bottle the whole time. So you see that clear plastic that's like inside the rim of the bottle, and you can see how the liquid is kind of catching on the top? Well, there's no wiper insert on the inside, so don't be fooled by these. I'll show you the difference between this bottle and a different bottle. So if you look on the inside of this bottle, that is a wiper insert. So when you pull the brush out, the brush removes most of the liquid right there. Unfortunately, in the Moguls one, I didn't see that on there. See, it takes out the liquid and it keeps it and traps it there. But the Moguls one doesn't have that same type of insert. So when I open it and put it on my nail, it's kind of flooded. So you have to make sure you wipe it on the kind of like the neck of the bottle on the inside, and it's a lot of work. So that's the only gripe I have about it right now, because when I did my right hand off camera and I closed the bottle and went to do my left hand on camera, my bottle was sealed shut and my boyfriend had to help me open it. So just make sure that when you're taking the brush out of the bottle, you're being very diligent about properly removing it and then getting the excess liquid off of the rim. So far, the application has been pretty good. I haven't really had any issues except for the bottle and then the liquid on the bottle. But as for using the liquid on my nails, it's been pretty good. I finished dipping, I dusted off my nails off camera, and I'm about to apply Activator to all of my nails. Before I go into the top coat, I want to show you guys the bottleneck of this liquid as well. It is just like the base coat liquid, and you can see how liquid just kind of pools at the top right there. So again, you do want to be diligent about cleaning off your bottlenecks before you close them shut. As always, I buff and file off camera because I would shake my entire screen for you guys. So I'm reapplying my activator and I'm pulling out the instructions because those things are needed for the top coat. So I already did step 3 where it says repeat step 3 and I applied my activator. So I did step 4 as well where I shaped, filed, buffed, and then I apply my activator again and let dry for 60 seconds. I'm currently in the dry for 60 seconds stage. So please don't think I'm stupid. I was a little confused by step number 5. It says using the top coat brush nail in 3 quick strokes. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna brush on all 5 fingernails in 3 quick strokes. So 3 strokes per nail, 5 nails, right? So I was like, okay, stop there. Well, the next step says repeat on all 10 nails. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do 3 quick strokes on all this entire hand over again. Cool, got it, done. Well, then the instructions say wait 60 seconds and then repeat. Top coat again. So is that 3 coats? Am I doing 3 coats or should I have only done 2? I'm a little confused. And then it says nails will be dry in 5 minutes, which is like the longest time I've ever had to wait for a top coat to dry. So I'm just gonna wait for this top coat to dry for 60 seconds and then do a 3rd coat. Because I have heard of that done before. I'm just not sure if this is like a unique case or should have just done 2 and then stopped. But we'll see if this works. Okay, 60 seconds have elapsed, so I'm going to reapply the top coat for the 3rd time. It also says that nails will be dry in 5 minutes, so I'm not going to torture you guys. I'm going to crop this part out, and I'll be back in 5 minutes. 5 minutes have passed, so it's time to do the touch test and see if they're dry. And boy, I just went straight for it, didn't I? So yes, my thumb is dry, index is dry, middle finger is dry. It's all really glossy, nice and smooth. I like this. This is great. Not bad. Now for my favorite part of every single manicure is just adding my cuticle oil because my goodness, they've taken a beating. They've been roughed and buffed and acetoned and tortured and they want some love. So stay tuned because this video is not over. I'm going to share my thoughts and feelings in Wear review after this is over. Alright you guys, I know that was a lot to watch and I thank you so much for bearing with me, but now we're going to get to my final thoughts on the Many Moguls liquids. So like I've done in previous videos, I keep my handy dandy notebook of notes so I kind of just like don't forget. So I took notes while I was doing the dip powder application. I will say that I didn't like the base at all. If you haven't noticed from the video, it was something I didn't like. I did not like the base liquid. So I have a little holder for my bottles and I always put my bottles on those, but when I put that bottle on the holder, the liquid started pouring out. So I feel like that bottle that I received was a little overfilled because it couldn't even be tilted. So don't tilt your liquids unless you're a little further along. I did notice that the base was thick, so it's comparable to other thicker brands. And one thing I did notice about the base liquid was that it needs a wiper insert. In my opinion, in order to prevent the pooling on top that you saw in the video, I think it really needs a wiper insert on the inside of the bottle, not just that clear insert. It needs something so I can wipe the liquid off the brush so I don't have too much. Talking about the brushes, they were okay. They were not my favorite, but they were okay, and they're not the worst. The bottles, I thought the bottles were amazing. I always love liquids in opaque bottles so you can't see through them. The bottles were good, they were sturdy, they're nice and heavy. I really do enjoy those bottles, but again, like I said, I think they need a wiper insert in at least the base and top coat liquid. So for the buffing, I activated, the activator was good. I went to buff. My buffing was about a medium, so on my scale of 1, 2, or 3 for easy, medium, and hard, it was definitely a medium, so it was a 2. My application wasn't bumpy, so that's a good thing. I did feel like when I applied the powder, the liquid, and then dipped in the powder and everything, it wasn't like super duper lumpy. It didn't leave it super duper uneven, so it didn't make buffing the worst. For the top coat, the instructions said to wait 5 minutes to dry, so that was like unique. I haven't really experienced a brand that makes your top coat wait that long to dry, but as I tested it out and everything, I understand why it needs 5 minutes because you're doing 3 coats. So if you don't like a long drying time, I would probably not go with these liquids, but if you're okay with waiting 5 minutes to touch your nails to check if they're dry, then okay. It's not a deal breaker for me. So it takes 5 minutes. That was definitely weird. So I did my mani on a Monday afternoon, and by Wednesday afternoon, my fingers were lifting on my left hand. So I can show you guys the videos that I took when it happened in a second, but on my left hand, these fingers were lifting really, really bad. So I actually went ahead and later on that night, I soaked off my hand and I redid it with a different color and different brands liquids. And then not even 2 days later, so Friday afternoon, I started noticing major lifting on my middle finger and then minor lifting on my index and ring finger. My pinky was fine, so I didn't really have to worry about that, but there was like a 2-day time in how long it took for it to lift from one hand to another. I was really trying to hold out to the 7 days, but I think either Rebel Nails powders might not work well with this liquid, the base. I really do think the base was the problem because mine was thicker, or maybe it's just I should probably stick to Many Moguls dip powders with their liquids. I'm not sure, which I do plan on doing in the future, so you should stay tuned to see a video of me using Many Moguls dip powder with their liquids to see maybe the powder was the problem and not the liquid. So that's going to be my second go on that. But yeah, that's really all I had to say about it. I didn't hate the activator. I didn't hate the top coat. It was unique to have the longer drying time, but the base was my major issue, and I really do think it needs a wiper insert, but that's my feedback. So if you guys have used Many Moguls liquids and you love them, I would love to hear your feedback in the comments below. Give it a shout out. Tell me if you loved it. I mean, it just didn't work well for me with my Rebel Nail powder, so. Okay, I want to provide you guys with a live update about my Cuticle test. I did this 2 nights ago. I already have lifting. It sucks. I'm so sad. It's funny because my right hand is like stuck in place. Nothing has lifted on my right hand. So I don't know. My middle finger, my ring finger, and my index finger are all lifting. but my thumb and my pinky are fine. I'm sorry for moving so much. I'm at the gym, but it's just like, I'm gonna keep them there until hopefully I can make it to day 7, but I'm not sure. We're gonna see. All right, I just wanna update you guys. Just to follow up from my video earlier, the lifting on these 3 fingers has gotten significantly worse. So it's literally like coming off my nail. And this one hasn't gotten that much worse, but this one, I can stick my fingernail in between, and same with this one. So I'm actually just, I'm not gonna make it to day 7. I just wish I could, but I can't. These 2 are fine, and this whole hand is fine. But something about those 3, it just wasn't working. So I'm sorry guys, I wish I could report more. All right, you guys, this is my final update for the Mani Moguls liquids test. I'm gonna soak off tonight. So I did this Monday afternoon. Today is Friday afternoon. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 days. You guys already know my left hand lifted really quickly. So my middle finger here is starting to lift significantly enough to bother me. Like I could probably put my finger under there. So that obviously I'm making it worse. My index is lifting a little. My thumb is lifting on this side only. I'm just having lifting issues everywhere. So this one's very little, and the pinky is not lifting at all. So I guess go pinky, but it's time. It's time. The activator and the top coat were fine. Everything went on fine. The base coat was not my friend, so